like majorly different. Oh my goodness, and that light is so freaking bright. So, on this evening, after shaving my head and my eyebrows, from which they asked, whew, I was challenged. When it came to the eyebrows, oh my goodness, that one was not an easy feat. Didn't feel my greatest. And how do I feel, you ask? It's different, very much so. I'm pretty sure how the world views me and how I view myself and how God views me is pretty different. So, but I'm okay with that. And I took a shower and everything because hair was everywhere, all over my face. And I shaved my hair with a razor, but for some reason, all of my hair did not come off. At least, not to me, it didn't. But it's smooth. Oh my goodness, it's smooth. And I accidentally cut a little bit too much right here. I think I took off a little of my skin because there was blood when I shampooed my hair. But hey, this is me. This is my spiritual awakening. But honestly, let me backtrack because just even how the challenge came about. After I was revealed all of the negative things that people wanted to happen to me, for me to lose everything, um, I lost my house and had to sell off all my things, sell and give away my things because I didn't sell everything. I gave away a lot of stuff too. And I'm still in the process of giving more stuff away, case in point. All of this, I just, I loved my whole little bedroom setup. This is really a homage to my grandmother, the elephants. And I just love, and then my little cubicle thing with all of my toiletries and stuff in it. Because I really believe in self-care, like heavily. I always have. And so just knowing that people wanted just to wish that type of detriment on me, my health, I went through all of it. God allowed it. It was my Job season. And 10:01 on the clock. I just turned 10:02. And just, him asking me, like, literally the scripture. And I know the scripture, but I can't think of it off the top of my head, of when the man asked, Jesus, what can he do to follow him? And he said to give away everything you have, take up your cross and walk, with me. And I saw that basically as the same thing that God was asking me. Give up everything and follow me. And I did, quite a few times. This is my fourth time being on. Why people keep wishing this on me, I don't know. Maybe they want to just try to break me, but I hate to break it to them. Nothing will, because I don't receive my strength from this world. It comes from him, which is supernatural and otherworldly. So I tap into him in a way that people may not understand. I draw strength from him in a way that people may not understand. And maybe some people do. I don't know. I just know that he's telling me it's rare. And just for people to want me to lose my hair, I just thought that would really cross the line. Maybe because I really loved my hair. So I could be a bit biased there. But just wanting me to lose my hair so it could never grow back. Like, they wanted me to just be bald, and just any way for anybody to not ever view me as attractive. And I just feel like this world puts too much pressure on the way we look. I mean, it's costing people's lives. People are dying in surgery, getting tummy tucks, and all of these different things and procedures and liposuction, and they're risking their lives to do these things. And it's just, they place too much, they take words from me sometimes. I call it mental, and he just took that from me. He said, well, dang, a mental obstacle course. I call it a mental obstacle course because they take me through all of these challenges every single day. I cry quite a bit every single day because I have to go through a plethora of emotions and I have to process them. I no longer can stuff things down and put things off. I have to process them as they come, which is completely different. My life has just drastically changed. And looking at the outer appearance of how I have no hair and no eyebrows now, drastically changed. I'm 51 years old. I just thought to myself, I mean, I no, I didn't think to myself, I agreed to be transparent, honest. I went off on God. I just screamed to the top of my lungs, like, why would you wait? Till I just really felt like I had nothing in the tank. My health had got so bad. It took everything in me to believe that I could come back from that. I was on the brink of death so many times. And I wasn't angry at God, but I was a bit indifferent. I didn't understand why I was going through yet another Job season. And he wasn't revealing things to me the way I wanted him to. Because typically when I ask and really seek him and really go within, whether it be through fasting or whatever avenue he would touch my heart to do, I always received the answers. And they just weren't coming when I wanted them to. And I was just like, why would you wait till I had nothing left to tear my life up and rebuild? And I'm saying nothing left in the tank in here. I felt so weak, so broken down, so exhausted. And it was just to show me that my strength comes from him and that he kept renewing me and renewing me and renewing me. And he was like, and not everything is me. It's your faith, it's your drive to believe against all odds. And he's telling me this now, like, which I'm very humble for him to say that to me. I've gone through so much in my life, which a lot of it will get shared, and I don't want to trigger anybody, so I can't put trigger warning in the title because he wants me to use that title um, for my lives, but I will put it in the description box because I don't want to trigger anybody. I just really want everybody healed and whole. And I think this is why he started having me share my testimony so that I can bless somebody to have hope and to know that they don't have to do it on their own, that he can renew you and strengthen you and grow you in ways that you can't imagine. I never imagined that I would have the strength to do this. Especially my eyebrows, but the moment he asked for it to be a sacrifice unto him, it was done. It was immediate. Just like when they asked me to shave my head, and I say they because my spirit guides. And I did a video talking about spirit guides on episode 4, so you can go back and watch that if you so choose. I'm not a person that cares about clicks, follows. I do not ask people to follow me. I do not ask people to subscribe. I don't believe in that. I feel like people are going to do what they want to do. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize when people suggest those things, why they feel drawn to do them. A lot of times, most people don't even go back to look at that content and stuff. They just click the subscribe button or whatever for whatever reasons. And so many people have gotten used to just saying, almost like begging for subscribes. I just never would do that stuff. It's God's will. This is his thing. He wanted me to share my testimony, and I'm willing to be his vessel at all times. So I don't know what he wants to use it for. I'm not trying to figure it out because I never wanted to be out in front of anything. Not since I was a little kid. I wanted to be a singer. And I felt like I allowed the world their views of me, and I say world, my own specific world of people I came in contact with, to project their negative thoughts on me. And although I never felt that way about myself, I just kept saying, if all of these people feel this way, you know, it must be true type of thing. Although I knew it wasn't true, but it's almost like they just kept beating down on me until I would just try to believe it, if that makes sense. And I would just still go back to God, 10:10 on the clock. And just go back to him and just really just restore me, like rejuvenate me. I mean, he just would just, I spent my time with him. I pretty much was alone in this world, other than I was alone in this world because I always went to the spirit realm per se. I didn't really see it that way then, but I do now. And it's been a lot. But I'm going to talk about what he wants me to talk about is sexuality. So, that's another reason why I marked this over the age of 18. And these are topics that he wants me to talk about, that this world, like the beauty standards and all of these things, in which she's going to have me go in depth about that in another video. But it's just being a detriment to everything that he wanted for us. It's in complete opposition, and we do have opposition in all things, and we have free will and choice. And so it's just really sad to just see how quickly we adopt things and cave to society norms. My nose is itching. Whenever they do that, just is a confirmation. So with the sexuality, there's several points that he wants me to talk about where that's concerned. Um, the thoughts that we receive come from the spirit realm. Okay, so most of the time you don't think up those thoughts. They're placed there to test us, to see what are we gonna allow to take root. What seeds are we gonna plant and through those thoughts? I mean, every single person that has created something, it came from a thought. These are gifts from the spirit realm. The railroad, roadways, buildings, everything we see here that's built, made, these came from thoughts that people created those things. And so the same thing with sexuality. There's so many things that people, was born that way, this, that, and other. No, we are born with feminine and masculine energy. We are reincarnated. Our souls are eternal. And only a select amount of souls get to come down here. And there are astronomical numbers of souls. Many, many realms, many, many worlds outside of this one. So this is, and I said this in my last video, but it's true. It's like the gutter of realms, like the lowest vibration. And souls that come down here are really meant to try to burn off past karma. It's really hard for me to articulate from because they're giving it to me spiritually, which is like a whole different language. And I have to like translate it. So sometimes I get stuck in trying to translate. That's one of the reasons about the scriptures. So much has been taken out, so much has been changed to confuse us, to rob us of the truth. And God is just sick of it. You know, we are at the brink of another him starting over like Noah's Ark. And I don't really think people understand the heaviness of it. So if you feel promptings and warnings uh, that is coming from something outside of yourself, as in above, supernatural, and especially igniting, just connecting within to ring that alarm, please pay attention. Please listen. Please be obedient, because God really wants us to learn, to grow, and to save ourselves from literally self-destruction. Like, it's only getting worse and it's not getting better, and it's really really sad to see. But so with sexuality, we have been reincarnated. So depending on what genitalia we've come here in past lives, like for me, most of my past lifetimes have been as in my masculine, with masculine genitalia. So me gravitating toward my masculine is more natural for me. It's why I was a tomboy. It's why I love sports and all those types of things. And of course, it subsided as I got older, and I did balance out more of my feminine. But living on my own and being single, having to be more of a protector for my children and myself, um, really shifted me more in my masculine. So, of course, you know, I've heard some of everything, but it is what it is. But I'm getting back on track for what he wants me to say. So, all of us get tested with thoughts about the same sex, as in based on our genitalia. Every single person. And every single person may not want to openly talk about that. But you know that that is true because you've had those thoughts before. And so it's whether or not we allow those to take root based upon what we gravitate towards. And so, me using myself as an example, I was always attracted to women and men. And based on societal norms and all these things, I would I would say now that it was more suppressed, but I thought that I just eradicated it. Prior to my spiritual awakening, I eradicated those desires and things of the nature for the same sex. But I hadn't, because during my spiritual awakening, you know, I was tested vigorously on this. And it made me feel so uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable. I really had to really see what I was rooted in, what was my thought process behind it for myself in retrospect to what God was teaching me about the most powerful, highest God was teaching me. And I say that because there are other gods. And I'm making sure that I speak to the Almighty God. So, oh my goodness, I'm just getting emotional right now. So, where sexuality is concerned, a lot of people get confused. A lot of people feel embarrassed and ashamed. And then, not to mention all the other things that happen, where molestation and things of that nature, that adds even more confusion and really twists people up on the inside mentally, where all of these things are concerned. And we need to go to the Creator where that's concerned. We need to really ask Him to really truly help us understand who we are and what um I'm trying to phrase this about identity because like I stated, it's really hard to translate sometimes. And I've been blessed with the gift of languages. I speak my native language and I'm able to learn languages a lot quicker now. Have I put the time in to learn those languages? No. I studied Spanish for quite some time, so I do know how to speak Spanish almost fluently. I understand fluently and speak like it's like mid, like some words I have because I haven't been using it regularly. You don't use it, you lose it. But it just really came to a point where in my spiritual journey where I was really just trying to figure out what was God trying to teach me about sexuality. Like, because the desires more ignited, it didn't dissipate. So I was just like, okay, are you trying to tell me that I'm really, strongly attracted to women? And what am I supposed to do with that? Because the way I viewed it, I never ever desired like to live as a couple with another woman. And I don't ever want to be saying this in a way that's offensive to anyone. But at the same time, I don't care if it's offensive to anyone because this is my truth and my story. But I really saw it more as like, and I don't want to call a person a toy, but it was more just sexual, the sexual attraction, the arousal and things of that nature. So I got to a point where I watched porn heavily in my youth, and I would get extremely like, aroused and stuff from seeing, a woman on a woman, girl on girl, as they say. And so I didn't really know how to process that at the time. It was just kind of like, oh, wow, you know, that's different. It just, and then that whole time, and of course, somebody would say the devil was testing and tempting me, but I understand the world in a way that 99.99% of people don't. So, um, I understand that God is just only trying to teach us. We're down here to learn and experience. In Ecclesiastes, it says there's a time and a place for everything. He didn't say some things. He didn't say one thing, most things. He said everything. So we're down here to experience and learn and grow, overcome and conquer. So I just felt like, okay, am I supposed to overcome this yet again when I thought I already had? And I never ever went that route. I've never been with a woman. Very rarely anybody that I've ever been around has ever been attracted to. As a matter of fact, there's only one person that ever was a friend that I was attracted to. And they were a distant friend, so there wasn't even anybody close, and it wasn't anybody I grew up with. So it was once I came out here to Virginia. So, and even that, there wasn't anything that I wanted to act upon. So, where that's concerned, and I'm still working all those things out with the Most High, but He wants me to convey that that's what we should be doing. We shouldn't be judging each other. We shouldn't be, I'm not going to tell anybody what they should and shouldn't act upon. But I just know that He wants us to be, I'm getting cold, my head shaved and everything. Let me put my robe on. And He just wants us to, excuse me, y'all. He wants us to really, truly turn to Him, look to Him, for everything. He doesn't want us to be focused on the way the world views it. We need to be going to Him to see how He views it. That's what's most important. And I wholeheartedly agree, because I'm confused at this point. I really am. I'm being heavily transparent. And then it made me question, is like, okay, did I not, is this wrong, as far as being attracted to women? Is it right? Is there no wrong or right? Like, there's all these questions that swarmed in my head because, as I've stated, he has not been revealing everything to me. It's been me having to work through things and go within. He keeps having me meditate and go within to really call the answers to myself. And I haven't been going within to call those answers to myself. And I feel him now asking me, why is that? Why are you fearful of finding out what's there at the core? And I think I am fearful of that. I have not tried to make sense of any of that because I've been so busy dealing with other things. So I'm grateful that I do have this opportunity to go through this spiritual awakening, because tomorrow I may say that I hate the fact that I'm going through it, because that's really the ebbs and flows of things. And I feel like, and when I say I feel like, it's not that I'm in an emotional state. It's me combing through so much. It's just like so much information that I have to dissect and really break down to understand. Like, he has me going through these mental obstacle courses every single day, from the time he wakes me up to the time I go to bed. And ever since I haven't been working full time, and I've just been doing my side hustle and stuff to keep going, it's just been a lot, and a lot of stress that I actually got to process and burn away. It's like now these things don't stress me the way they used to. But there's so much pain that I have to comb through from my childhood, because he has me. I used to always say, prior to my spiritual awakening, when you really focus on the Most High, he will clean your life up. Like, you have to deal with things. There was so much that I thought I dealt with that I hadn't. And healing is literally an ongoing process. Like, there are triggers, and you don't know what could trigger you from a memory or something traumatic that's happened to you in the past. And it's not easy to navigate. And he's called me to teach. So there's so many things I have to experience to understand so that I can connect with others. And that's a very hard place to be in, because I'm constantly going through challenges, constantly. And the one he threw on me earlier today was just, I felt like deja vu. I went through a situation with my children's father, and I just felt like spiritually I was going through with the person, my counterpart or whatever. It's just all these different things that I feel like he dredges up. And every time I don't want to think about this person, I'm moving on. I'm focused on my own growth and focused on bettering myself and my future, and really doing the work for my calling. They will not allow me to like forget him per se. And so, for me, God is like giving this person, I guess, a set amount of time. I don't know. I'm really confused where that's concerned too. But at the same time, I know that everything is going to work out in divine time and for whatever it's supposed to be. I just know I'm open to someone new heavily. And I just know I have to process everything before I would ever bring someone else into that. I'm a very faithful person. very extremely so. And so I've been, oh my goodness, I've been prompted to share experience that I had. This is where I feel like, because I can speak to angels and demons, and it's not just my spirit guides. I was heavily attacked. I mean, I'm talking about heavily. And this is definitely a trigger warning. This attack was so brutal because was like having to battle sexual desires of my children. I didn't even understand. I had never ever had any type of inkling like that, anything like that. And I have 4 children, 3 sons and 1 daughter, and I had one abortion, and which I didn't want, but that's a whole nother story. I'll say that for another day. But I was just like so brutally attacked, and all I could do was just cry. They gave a confirmation. I just was bawling, crying because I didn't understand why I was going through this. And I prayed over myself, and I, spoke out with scripture and things of that nature to combat it. And it went on, felt like forever, but it was like hours. I'm being attacked like this. And it was so brutal. I just was like, why would you allow me to have to go through something like this? And then I just saw people in the world battling the sexual desires for their children. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like he has been taking me through all of these experiences to feel the afflictions in the world. It's been a lot that I've had to battle. And most people will probably unalive themselves having to go through the mental obstacle courses that I have to go through on a daily basis. But for me, that was one of the most brutalest ones because I've never thought like that about my kids. So it was just like a drastic, it was just like the to me the most extreme. And I had somebody come to me spiritually that wasn't my counterpart, but it was a high level soulmate. And I just felt like if I wouldn't have known I had the strength to overcome that if they hadn't comforted me and encouraged me in that moment. It was just like God's lifeline. And every single time I've needed help like that same person has come to me. So it was kind of like I didn't understand about the other person because that person has never been there for me the way I felt, spiritually, because I do have a spiritual connection with that person. And for me, I'm not sure if I speak to their highest self or directly to them, but I know I have a telepathic communication, and I know it's real. And um, my spiritual ranking is up there. That's all I'm gonna say on that. And that's why I'm going through these mental obstacle courses, and it's shown me a strength that I never knew I had, and I'm humbled because I know that people would unalive themselves because those thoughts just kept attacking me too. And I just was like, I will never do that. Like, I'm here for a purpose. I have work to do. That always helped me to overcome those thoughts. But like when that situation with my children, I was so heinous for me. And there was another situation involving my counterpart where this person came to me, my high level soulmate came to me and encouraged me and helped me and just And these are their highest souls, like the best versions of themselves spiritually. And so it's a lot to this journey. God has me creating a course, one that I'll have to literally create, make personal for each person based upon their soul and their soul's journey. And it's a lot of work. And so I understand why I'm going through everything I'm going through now. And I always want to serve and help people. But there are times where I just don't feel like it's worth it because I see into people in a way I don't want to. And I don't tap in, I don't like energetically. Once I get a read off somebody, I don't go looking for specifics in a person's life because everybody should have their privacy. But there are times when I see things, I've seen quite a few predators. And they know when I see them too, because I look them right in the eye and they have this shocked look and this fearful look and this like she sees me look. This one dude, I caught him looking at this little girl. And he was just looking at her like he would just devour her. And I was just looking at him like, really though? You just gonna do this out in the open? And nobody saw him. Just me. I just was like, really though? And when I looked at him, he just looked like with this, like she saw, like she knew. And then this other time I was at the gas station and this guy was sitting on the passenger seat as if he was waiting for someone. And I knew he wasn't. And I mean, thinking to myself, this is before my spiritual awakening. How do I know this man is not waiting for anyone? But I knew. And for some reason, I couldn't leave until I knew. So me and my kids had to get some stuff out the gas station or whatever. And we got everything. And then I told him, I just want to see something for a minute. And then I made eye contact with him and looked at him like, I see you. I know exactly what you're doing. You are looking for somebody to freaking attack. And I knew he was a serial killer. I knew that man was a serial killer. I made sure 10:10 on the clock, 10:37. I knew this man. I was like, no way. And I made sure that I took a picture of his license plate too. So if something came on the news about a missing person or whatever in that area, I was going to make sure that I turned that information over. But sure enough, he had been sitting on the passenger side. But why was he pumping gas, getting ready to leave with nobody in the car? After I pretended like I left and came back. I just was like, really, you have me like being able to see and spot these people out and stuff. And I don't know what purpose God is going to use for that. But that was just, and I'm not afraid of them either. None of them. Clearly, they were fearful of me because the moment I looked at him sitting in that pasture, because I first saw him when we went in the convenience store for the gas station. It was a Wawa, which I love me some Wawa. Okay. Oh, I love me some Wawa. But anyway, I went in, we got, paid for what we was going there for and everything, and then left out. And then I made sure I looked him right in the eyes so he knew, I know what you're doing. And I said, he is not waiting for anybody. There is nobody with him. And he had this look like, how in the world does she know? And so then we pretended like we left and I came back around. And that's when I saw him getting gas, nobody else in his car. And I told my daughter, make sure you get a picture of his license plate. Because if anything happens, I'm gonna make sure I go to the police to report him and report everything that I saw. But nothing had came about, and I guess he probably got spooked and left. And I remember going back to Most High in prayer, asking, to protect anybody that he had taken a picture of, because he was also pretending like he was on his phone, but he was videotaping. So I was just like, And I knew he was videotaping because of the way he was holding the phone. I don't know how I knew. I just knew. And it was not something that I could push off. I was just like, man, the evil minds in this world. There's sweet and loving hearts like mine out there, but there's also ones that just want to devour and just eat up the innocence out there. And God wants, us to balance our dark and our light so that we can use our dark to protect ourselves and not be out here using it for that, because God's vengeance is not pretty. And I tell you, every person that's out here doing heinous acts to his innocent are in for a rude awakening. And it's a lot of folks out here that thinks that they're not seen. And it's so sad how people view ethnicities and stuff and think the worst of darker complected individuals versus other nationalities, and thinking that they so innocent and so pure and so nice and so trustworthy. And that's why so many people fall victim to a lot of these people, because they have that thought process and that mindset. And God wants to free us from that. He wants us to come to him, especially with our sexuality, when we feel confused and when we feel attacked and when we feel like, what is going on with me? But so many of us hide these things and think and believe we're hiding it from God, but he sees everything. He's all knowing. We all have spirit guides assigned to us, angels and demons, and everything gets documented. Every thought that passes through your mind, what you do with those thoughts, how you process it, everything. There's nothing we can hide from it, because we're all energy. And energy is eternal. It can never be destroyed. And it's all recorded for learning purposes, for us to try to overcome and to overcome this flesh. Because see, this is what is the real devil, because it's always wanting. It's always asking and wanting something. It's always trying to lure us in to get something. And coupled with that and the thoughts, a lot of people fall victim. A lot of people become addicted to so many things. And God wants to free us from that. And I include myself, because I used to be, I know I was addicted to sex, but I never said that. And more so I can control it, because I controlled it more than not. I really had to understand I was a highly sexual being. My sex drive was through the roof. It was ridiculous, And I'm so grateful that I went to him with all of these things. And he just helped me know, I need you to be celibate. I battled, with that. I went, the first 5 years I battled. Well, it was more like 7, more like 7 years, because 2 years I was celibate. And then after I left my kid's father, and then I faltered, and then I got back on for like a year and a half, and then I faltered then. Then I think I went like a year and faltered. And then I had a period where, about 6 months, where I was seeing somebody. And so, excuse me. I had about 6 months while I was seeing somebody, and then I was just like, no, this is not for me. 10:44 on the clock. And I was like, And then I went back to him in prayers like, I need your help because I don't know what it is that I keep faltering when I don't want to. I would get triggered. Different things in my life would happen. I called it something to do because I would get bored. And me being an Aries, I get extremely bored sometimes. So it's one of the reasons why my personality is so flamboyant, and I change like so to other people. I change often because I would change my look up a lot and things like that nature because I got bored really quickly, easily. But anyway, I I just know that God really wants a personal relationship with us. Every single person. He wants to help and heal us and make us whole. And only He can, because He created us. So it's important for us to humble ourselves and go to Him. And it's important to be humble so that you can be teachable, so that you can seek His way and not ways of the world. And oh my goodness, I look so weird with no eyebrows. I'm just like, I got distracted by that. I do. No apologies needed. I'm really struggling with every time that pattern keeps trying to come back, and I know they're testing me with it. And there's no need for me to apologize. So I just want to implore everybody to please have a personal life. Personal life. I don't know why that came up. Have a personal relationship with the Most High. He craves to have that with you, to teach you about yourself, to help you learn yourself, to overcome every single obstacle that presents itself. Every problem has a solution, therefore you are the solution. And I really truly hope that this helps someone, because people have wanted to unalive themselves about their sexuality and all these things, and the battle that goes within the depression and all these things, anxiety and all this stuff that comes about because of it. And He wants you to be mentally strong, physically and spiritually. And your spirit is the strongest thing in you. But most people neglect their spirit. So it's something He really wants for us. I cannot believe they had me like spit when I talk. Like, it's things like that that just annoy me, like, because they do. Something else He wants me to say. It is okay to feel what you feel. You're feeling it for a reason. Allow yourself to feel it, process it, sit in it. When you especially make the time so that you can learn from what He's trying to teach you, whatever emotion that is that you're feeling. I had a mental obstacle course today where something was presented to me, and I'm like, I don't have to have that. I don't have to adopt that attitude, because I am allowed to feel what I'm feeling right now. I'm so sick and tired of anybody and everybody trying to tell me what I'm supposed to feel about something I'm going through. I'm feeling this for a reason, and it's necessary for me to process it. It's necessary for me to connect with this the way I need to release it and heal from this situation. And I'm like, I'm sick and tired of people telling me how I should feel. And I'm saying people, I'm speaking about my spirit, guys. I was speaking about even the Most High, because I was being tested about these things, which of course they revealed to me I had passed the test afterwards. But it was also incidents that they had brought up in my, to my physical mind, of things that had happened in the past where people felt like I, was overreacting, and felt like I was being dramatic, and felt like that I was being selfish, all because I was thinking, putting myself first, and my needs and my wants, when somebody was acting as though I was supposed to compromise. And the truth is, there is no compromise in love. You're supposed to show up as yourself, and that person's supposed to accept you for who you are. And you're supposed to work together with the Most High to figure those things out. But not somebody want you to compromise so they can get what they want and they be happy while you be unhappy. That's a no-go. God is not okay with that. And we need to go to him for everything. Pray over everything. Oh, I'm exhausted. Um, I have conveyed everything they've asked me to, so I'm gonna call in a night. This is the main reason why I do this in the daytime, because I don't know when I'm just gonna feel wiped out. Anything, all this, the spiritual lapse and the spiritual obstacle course that I'm on right now is so draining. So I really value whatever time I get to sleep, because sometimes they allow me to sleep for 2, 3 hours before they wake me up. And sometimes I get to sleep 7, 8, 9 hours. Like last night I got to sleep a full night and I was just like, whoa, I think I fell asleep around 8:30. I think at the last 8:38 was the last time I looked at the clock, and I woke up at 5:40 this morning. So that was some deep, good sleep. So I was just like, I was so grateful. I woke up with gratitude for that, only to get ready for my live to work out in the morning for them to rip the skin off my tattoo on the stair. I have walked down those stairs thousands of times. And right before I'm about to start my live, that happens. They want, they want to see, was I going to make an excuse to not do it, because I was in brutal pain. The way it ripped the skin and where it caught in my Achilles was so freaking painful. And I'm like, how am I about to work out like that? But soon as I chose, although I was highly ticked off at them, and I even talked about it in the live at the beginning of the live, but afterwards, they all of a sudden the pain had dissipated. It was gone because I chose to still start on time. I think I started my live at 7:01 or something like that, because I do them Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. for the workouts, and on the weekends, 9 a.m. So they challenged me to that for that too. So I'm just being obedient, and it's been very empowering and freeing, and even shaving my head. I don't feel like that about my eyebrows. I feel like I look weird with no eyebrows. But I was okay with not having hair. Although all I could keep thinking of is the cone heads. If you've ever watched the early years of SNL, I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna be a cone head right now. But uh, but I am gonna say a special prayer for all the cancer patients out there. This just really humbled me, and even though I'm facing that myself right now, I still, I know the power of healing and the power of belief. And all you have to do is believe that you're healed and whole, and you will be. All it has to do is be in alignment with the most powerful, highest God. There's a lot of things that we don't understand, and sometimes it's his will for us to lose, you know? But for me, I feel it deep that I have this, that I'm able to heal. It's like my intuition is telling me that I can be healed and whole from this. So I don't know. I have to work out my insurance issues, because I had insurance with no issues, and now there's a bunch of issues with my insurance. Thanks. Once I work out that, then I can do the rest of the testing for me to get my results to see if I have colon cancer. So it is what it is. And I am a person that's going to be grateful no matter what. But I hope you all have a very blessed rest of your night and a very restful sleep, because I'm praying that I have that. Something else, a tidbit in fact, ever since my spiritual awakening, I've not been able, and of course they're going to attack my throat chakra, I've not been able to sleep in my bed. I've been sleeping in my recliner. So I don't know why, but I literally just, after that day, I just could not sleep in my bed. And I had always slept in my bed. And it's a comfortable bed. It's a Sealy Posturepedic. So I'm just like, it is what it is. I'm selling the bed anyway now, so, or giving it away, whichever one they have me do. Well, you all have a blessed night. I will see you all tomorrow for my workout. I know people are going to be like, for the workout in the morning, like, what in the world? Yeah, it's going to be interesting this next 30 days. And then the time that it takes for my hair to grow back from then on. Okay. And no, I'm not having a nervous breakdown. I am completely sane. I am just going through a spiritual awakening. And there are people that probably won't believe it. But I know I am. That's 10:10 on that clock, 10:55. It is what it is. But hey, people going to believe what they want to believe. They're going to say what they want to say, and they're going to talk about you the way they want to talk about you. And I just happen to give zero about it. Okay? Period. Point blank. Have a blessed night, everybody. I'm signing off, and thank you so much for listening to my spiritual awakening journey. Until tomorrow. Bye. Signing off.